Dr. Edwards.
A pleasant good afternoon to one and all. I must share with you that I've had most favorable comments as it related to the menu. So there were two young ladies at the table where I was seated at. So my first question to them was, how was the food as it relates to health? They both nodded their head. I accepted that as approval. And then my next statement to them was, have you ever come to, or question was, have you ever come to a workshop where salmon was on the menu? They smiled. And I said, well, PAHO is paying for this. And one asked me, where do you work at? And I said, PAHO. So good afternoon to one and all. I'd like to ask to come to the front Mr. Andy Chen, Mr. Curly Prescott, and Mr. Nicholas Shaman Singh. They're going to be our panelists this afternoon as we embrace the opportunity to move from culture to one of telecommunications. I'd like to ask all to come and kindly sit in front, and then we're going to have a keynote address by Mr. Andy Chen. So Mr. Andy Chen is a principal consultant as it relates to digital operation expert from Huawei LATAM, and we also have with us, kindly have a seat, Mr. Curly Prescott, who is the CEO, Technology and Engineering, TATT, and we have Mr. Nicholas Shaman Singh, who is the CEO of Vertana. So without any further ado, I would also like to ask Mr. Asmal Nazir, is he here with us? Yes, to kindly come and moderate the session for us. I hope you won't be competing with any sort of ethnic fatigue this afternoon, but I embrace you to pay attention to this session that will be conducted by Mr. Nazir.
Thank you, and afternoon, everyone. So for the next 55 minutes, we're going to be running this panel on technologies and opportunities of future telecommunication systems. So I'll quickly introduce our panelists. First, we have Andy Chen, Principal Consultant, Digital Operations Expert at Huawei. So Andy's got over 18 years of experience in the telecom industry with a focus on LATAM for the past 8 years. He has a deep understanding of LATAM telecom market and has a wealth of experience in big data and AI practices to assist carriers in achieving business success. Andy is proficient in telecom consulting, data intelligence, and digital transformation with professional skills in R&D, project management, consulting, and big data. Next, at the end, we have Curly Prescott, Executive Officer, Technology and Engineering at TAT. Curly serves as Executive Officer of Technology and Engineering at the Telecommunication Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, with responsibility for frequency and equipment licensing, radio spectrum, broadcasting systems planning, technical standards and development, technical regulations of networks, including numbering administration and telecommunications, radio communications, and broadcast monitoring. He has over 20 years of leadership experience in technical and general management roles in the telecommunications sector for both regulators and operators such as TSTT, Columbus Communications, and Cable and Wireless Communications across various markets in the Caribbean region, including Trinidad and Tobago, Curacao, Barbados, and Windward Islands. He has held the role of the inaugural chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Internet Exchange Limited, which was formed with the first 2 internet exchange points in Trinidad and Tobago, and was a founding member of the Grenada Internet Exchange, GREX. Curly holds a BSc in Electrical and Computer Systems Engineering from UE and an MSc in Telecommunications from the University of Maryland. And finally, in the middle, we have Nicholas Chaman Singh, the COO of Vertana. Nicholas is an accomplished strategist with extensive experience in telecoms, technology and data analytics at the C-level with 10 years of experience, currently working as the Chief Operating Officer for Vitana. He has a successful track record as a transformational leader in spaces of operations, commercials, analytics. At an early age, Nicholas managed and led complex multi-OpCo and cross-region telco operations in Central and Latin America and the Pacific end-to-end across developed and emerging markets. He also worked across multiple universities within Trinidad and Tobago, where he developed courses in software engineering, advanced analytics, machine learning, big data, and cloud. So, with the introductions done, we're going to get into speaking to our panelists. We will try to speak for about half an hour to 40 minutes with an opportunity at the end for the audience to ask some questions. So, as we usher in the new area where connectivity and big data are the twin engines driving digital transformation, the telecommunication industry Sorry, I forgot about the keynote. So at this point, I would like to invite Andy Chen for the keynote, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This section, I'm going to talk about big data and AI in telecom, the telecom industry. Okay. So good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Andy. So I'm from Mexico. Yeah, Huawei Latin American region. So it's an honor to be here to introduce a little bit practice in big data regarding the telecom industry. So as we know, yeah, I have some slides. Yeah. So as we know, digital process is accelerating. Yeah. So there is a lot of digital services. Yeah, all over the world. So especially since the pandemic, so the digital transformation, like accelerate like 7 years. Yeah, this is what McKinsey company says. Okay. So, but for telecom industry, so almost all of the carriers has the plan or they are doing the digital transformation. Okay. So in this kind of a situation, this is a very big opportunities for us. Yeah, because there are a lot of technologies like machine learning, like ChatGPT, like CV, etc. Yeah, so we have a lot of work to do. So during this domain. And as we know, the technology brings a lot of opportunities to the carriers. So basically, currently what is going on, and in the near futures, so we have two major domains to develop the technologies. So one is the business growth. So we need to use the cutting edge technology to boost the carrier services. This is the one side, one part. So for example, we can promote like new services. We can promote like new experience. Also, we can build some kind of scenarios to monetize. So the second area is efficiency growth. So for the efficient growth, maybe there are some kind of difficulties for us because there is a lot of existing system. Yeah. For example, carrier normally they will have like more than 200 digital systems. Some are very out of fashion. Yeah, some are kind of new. But anyway, so all of these systems will coexisting in the carriers network. So it will bring a lot of challenges for us, especially for the data quality. Yeah. So that's why everybody say, okay, so I know the digital things is very important. Also, the digital transformation is our strategy, but it's very difficult for us. So regarding this point, so our suggestion is that so maybe we need to think big and move small, yeah, because so we cannot rebuild everything. We just can update little by little and step by step. Okay. So, yeah, the purpose of big data and AI in telecom industry, I think is simple. Yeah, for us. So we serve a lot of globally a lot of carriers. So in more than 100 countries, yeah, for Huawei. So our mission is to build a fully connected world. So in this domain, so basically we have 4 pillars to use the big data and the AI. The first one is the network planning, because this is a foundation, yeah. Because as we know, so the business logic of carrier is not so complicated, yeah. So always investment come to first. Second is the revenue, so it's our target because we are commercial companies, yeah. So of course we focus on revenue, we focus on profit. The third one is the key. So also this is the most important things for technologies. How to guarantee the customer experience, how to improve the customer experience end to end. This is very important. So the second one is marketing campaign. Yeah, after we have the network, we need to promote it. Yeah, otherwise it will be capex, not revenue. The third one is we call it like operation and management. The last one is experience, as what already mentioned before. So this 4 points is our purpose to use the technologies and the AIs. Yeah, here there is a conception. So normally, so the people talking about the technology maybe use the ABC. So that is cloud and the big data and the AI. So, but in telecom, so ABC is technical thing. So also we'd better to change a little bit. We will use another way, use a business language to translate it. Yeah, so let's say CBA. Yeah. First of all, we need to focus on the customer experience. This is a basis. Yeah. If there is no experience, there is no users, there is no customers, there is no revenue. Yeah. So second one is we are business focus. Yeah. So we will use the technology to support scenario-based solutions. So this is also very important. The third one we will say is architecture. Yeah, because for the data or for the technologies, so we need to use a very open, easy to use architecture. This is very important. Okay. Yeah. After we have these 3 things, we will have a very expected result. So that's why we will say, okay, intelligence infrastructure and digital intelligent operation and digital service. This is our 3 major scenarios to use the data, big data and AI. Here I will show a little bit the architecture. Yeah, how to apply digital technologies in telecom industry. So three layers, okay? So from the bottom up is cloud-based infrastructure. And there is a lot of, in the middle, there is a lot of operation and maintenance functionalities. So the up is our service layer. Service layer, so we will have to C, to B, and to H. That means focus on the customer, focus on the consumer, focus on the home, and also focus on the business, yeah, the vertical industry, yeah. So this is our three layers for the data architecture. So all of these, the purpose, we will say there is a three purpose: revenue growth, and the experience improvement, and also the efficiency improvement. In the industry, so we will divide the technologies. I mean, we have three layers, yeah. Level 0, level 1, level 2, three layers. Level 0 is basic, is foundation models. So that means, for example, natural language process. Second one is the some multimodals, and also the CVs, and also prediction and computings, right? So this is our basic foundation models. So this is very important because all of the applications, all of the services are based on this. The middle one, level 1, is focused on the operation, yeah, because for the carriers, for the telecom, so most important things is we need to make sure the operations is very efficient, yeah, otherwise the OPEX will be very high. So also this is currently the pain point our customers like Digicel, TSTT, I mean B-Mobile. So our customer want to reduce, want to improve the operation efficiency. So the upper one is the scenario-based models, yeah. So these models, yeah, we will divide it into different segments. For example, from the beginning to the, is a cycle, yeah, it's a cycle. So it's planning, that means we need to try to plan to do something, yeah, for the carriers and for the public. So second one is the build, yeah, build, that means we need to deploy a network. So no matter it's 5G or 5.5G or fiber, yeah. So this kind of network we need to deploy, yeah. So there is operation O&M, so there is optimization. And the last part is we need to face our consumers and the users. Yeah, we need to find where are they, what they like, how they use the services of telecommunication services. So the last part is the business. That means when we face the future, so maybe we need to find more opportunities, more stream for companies, yeah. So after all, so data matters. So because as we know, so the data, we have a lot of source of the data. So, but unfortunately, so currently there is a lot of domain. So the data is separated. You know, that means we call it like a data silo, okay? But if we want to maximize the value of the data and the technology, if we really want to get something, use the big data and AI, so we need to be very carefully about this cross-domain data, yeah. For example, we have billing system, we have operation system, also we have network, and we also have something like, we call it like a management. system. So those kind of systems, yeah, distributed in different departments. Yeah, for example, if a company has like 5 departments, so the data is cannot moving or cannot swimming, yeah, between different departments. So this is a big issue. So that's why, so in the future, so a lot of carriers notice this kind of scenario. Yeah, so then we will have a way to solve it. So that means, yeah, we need to build a convergent data lake for everything. Yeah. Yeah, here is how we suggest or recommend, so how to use the big data and the AI models to support carriers' business. Yeah. So in the left part, so we will see so different sources of the data. Yeah, one part is from the billing, the CRM, from the PCRF, etc. Another part is from the network. Yeah, network is we have 5G network, we have a backbone, we have a core network, etc. So the last part is the end part, which as end users, we will face a lot is site. Yeah, I'm not sure if you know site. So we will connect all the data from the end-to-end system. Yeah, so then we will manage it into different dimensions. So then we will choose some kind of technologies. For example, because for example, SAS, yeah, SAS is a famous company, yeah, in the domain. Also, we can use open source like Python, like a Studio, this kind of open source, naming, of course, yeah. So this kind of digital big data platform, so is very powerful. Yeah, we can use it very easily to solve some issues. And then after that, so we need to use this output for some purpose. So basically, it's precise marketing and precise network planning. So this is the data flow, yeah, as we see in telecom industry. So also, yes, this thing, digital things is not so easy. So we need to launch a long-term project for it. Yeah, for example, here I show an example. Yeah, so this is a user life cycle. What kind of things we can do for telecom to use the data? Yeah, different phases. We have different technologies from the end user into your company and till he left your company. So we have a lot of things to do. So some of them, we call it like is prediction models. Some of them, we will say it's just like a kind of data convergency. Yeah, so it's just like a clustering, this kind of not so complicated algorithm, okay? So yeah, here, as we know, so big data is a practical science. Yeah, so we need to figure out how to use the data one by one. Here I will show some best practice what we did in Latin America. So the first one is the 5G migration. For example, currently the 5G is a little bit slow. Yeah, especially in Latin American. So we want to accelerate. Yeah, so then we will use different data to combine different models. Then we will see, okay, what kind of user, who are they, where are they? So we will figure out. So then we will promote it or migrate them to 5G network. So this is one case what we did in Latin American. Second one is for fiber. Yeah, also fiber is also very important because as I know, so in the last 3 years, fiber grows a lot in Ladan. So for fiber, the logic or the data source are a little bit different from the mobile business. Yeah. So because we need to connect the household first. So then we can say, hey, we will to promote our services. So this is another way. But here, we recommend a close process, yeah, to do this business. So also here, we will have some, let's say it's a smarter decision models to support this kind of work. And also for the FMC, it's fixed and mobile convergence. Yeah, so this is also a very important topic for us to find more value users. Yeah, so this is a combine between mobile and fixed business. So however, so the data is more difficult than mobile-only business. Yeah, so we also did a lot of practice, yeah, to move all the users to combine each other with the mobile services and the fixed services. Yeah. Yeah, as we're talking about the network, so we have something like a precise planning. So during this part, so we will use the cross-domain data, and also we will use the prediction models. That is like supervisor learning. So this is kind of models to identify the value areas. So this is a way to see where has the most potential to deploy 5G. Yeah, for example, okay, how many users in this area, and how many sites we need to put in this area, and how many revenue or how many incomes we will get after we deploy the network. So also this is very important because we have tiers for different tiers for end users, because someone like choose different services, right? So someone choose high-level services, someone choose normal services. So, but we need to see where they are. So this is a location-based models, yeah. So we need to see where these, let's say, users distribute. So then we can apply a suitable strategy for this kind of network, yeah. So besides network planning, also regarding the operation and the maintenance, also we have end-to-end solution. Yeah, I will not go to the details because it's a little bit like technology. Yeah. So, but anyway, so this is also very important for our telecom carriers. So we can help them to reduce the OPEX, help them to improve the efficiency. That means the end user will be more like satisfied with our services. And this is for churn. I believe this is also the top difficult issues in telecom industry. So, but here I just want to mention, so for churn reduction, so yeah, AI is very important. So we use the neural network to build some models to reduce the churn rate. And also another way, we use a lot of data to identify the network experience to help the end users to get better, yeah. So the last case, let's say is MPS, is similar like the churn is very difficult, but here we need to be careful of the subjective perception and the objective perception. This is the key to help the carriers to improve the NPS. Okay, so besides yeah, besides telecom industry, also we know that digital intelligence can create a lot of other possibilities for our world. So for example, online education, like manufacturing, like energy, and like public safety, like healthy. Yeah, so we have a lot of opportunities to do this, okay? So this is, we need a lot of support from government, from the industry, from the carriers, from the vendors. So we need to work together to help this to build a digital Caribbean area. So okay, here is our model. Yeah, we call it like a Pangu model. Here is Huawei model. So we have a lot of models to do this. Yeah. So then at the end, I'd like to use a Chinese proverb to end this section. So so our journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So at this moment, we just beginning with our big data and AI in the industry. So everybody is welcomed to contact us to talk about this topic. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Andy, for an excellent presentation and underscoring how valuable telecoms has been and will continue to be to the countries and regions as a development asset. With the advent of 5G technology, we are not only witnessing enhancement of mobile broadband experiences, but also the enablement of emerging technologies such as the Internet of Things and machine-to-machine communication and sophisticated AI algorithms. So getting into the questions, I want to immediately address the issue of cybersecurity, given our recent challenges locally. This question was asked in an earlier panel discussion, but is relevant to our discussion, and I wanted to get the panel's perspective. In light of recent high-profile data breaches and ever-growing threat landscape, what are the most pressing cybersecurity challenges that big data and AI systems, including telecoms systems, face today? And how should governments and industries collaboratively approach these threats? And I'll start with Andy.
Yeah, I know. So actually, the data security is a very serious issue today. So in 2021, so as I know, there are 7 very biggest events. For example, for the Singapore Telecom and Canada, US military. So there is a lot of governments or carriers has this kind of event. So, but 85% of the data security is because of the internal issues. Internal issues. That means we need to control the data with a very logic process. Yeah. So this is also actually we will promote a solution. So we will have let's say data security center. Yeah. Let's say it's a data security center. We need to control. So if we can have this kind of solution, 80%, more than 80% of this kind of issues will go. So this is my suggestion. So we need to start from internally, from the government, from the carriers, or from the companies. So we need to bottom up. This is very important.
Right. And same question to Nicholas.
I think with cybersecurity in any environment or any infrastructure, the first thing is understanding the infrastructure, but as well as the people who work there. So you could have the best infrastructure, but if internal policies aren't developed in the right way, staff aren't educated or frequently educated because every minute or every month there's new threats. I think that is one part of it. But the other part is also the infrastructure, understanding the right policies, the access protocols, etc. Those things are big components. And then finally, well, not finally, but at least the actual infrastructure, how the network performs, and network meaning internal network, external network, and how those communications are happening. But I think understanding each layer and having the right policies or protocols are there, that should significantly at least reduce or give it the ability to react quickly. Yeah?
Thank you for that. And Curly, what is the regulator's view on this?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to be on this panel. So if I want to recap the question, Ash, I guess the question was, what is the biggest threats that big data and AI systems are facing today? So I think it's a sort of a consequence of its own benefit, right? So as big data systems become more valuable, right, the inherent value that they cover, that they carry, has increased, and therefore there's a lot more benefit in undermining or compromising those systems. So as the possible return, the opportunity increases, therefore it's attracting, more capable, more investment, more time in terms of persons trying to compromise those systems. So as that attention increases and as those level of efforts increase, it means that the systems that we use to protect these big data and artificial intelligence systems need to evolve as well. So, right? So I think the challenge that these systems face is there's no final point, there's no end game, there's no utopia that you've put in this firewall and that has solved the issue. The reality is you have this very, very valuable asset in data. With 5G, you're going to be capturing more data, more valuable data. And as the value of that data increases, it means you have to keep upgrading, evolving, keeping your security systems up to date to be able to face and to protect against the growing and evolving threats, in the landscape. Yeah.
Right. And then just to continue on that thread, with the IoT and M2M devices that are going to drastically increase the number of endpoints that are sitting at the edge of a telecoms network, what sort of measures do you think the telecoms companies, operators need to take in able to prepare themselves against the upcoming increase in number of endpoints?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So with the vastly increased endpoints, it means that there's more opportunity for compromise. There's more opportunity for the communication back to the central place to be intercepted. Yeah. So most definitely, secure protocols, best practices need to be adopted by the telecom operators to ensure the best levels of that's available and that's reasonable, of course, of encryption. The most suitable technologies are deployed for the collection of data, for the collection of data from the IoT, from the Internet of Things endpoints. Yeah.
Right. Nicholas, your thoughts?
I think just echoing a bit what Curly mentioned there, I think with more adaptable IoTs and M2Ms, best practices, specifically just how these M2M devices communicate with a network, how you secure that, changing basic things like changing the default passwords, like simple things like that actually cost companies a lot of money. So just doing that and setting up that network right, and then before even ingesting the network or processing the network, processing the data, the big data collected from these things, it should be sanitized and reviewed before ingesting, because that is also where vulnerabilities can come from. So I think from a telecoms perspective, if there are any telecom providers want to provide a solution, they should also at least highlight end-to-end. These are the different protocols that we're putting in place to be able to secure this as best as possible. These are some known risks. These are the mitigation strategies and how we go about doing it, so that at least anybody who is investing in these things should have the best knowledge, or at least be prepared enough to know what are the risks and repercussions.
Yeah, and I totally agree. No matter how sophisticated technology gets, the basics remain the same, and one of them is change the default settings. Andy, as a supplier of a lot of these technologies and ecosystems to the telecoms providers, how is Huawei looking or foreseeing these issues and challenges?
Yeah, actually, of course, besides of the law, so technology is very important to control these data things. But besides the technology, I think we need to put a little more education to the public to let them know how important the data is. So then, let's back to the technology. Actually, we need to, from the data generated from the devices, so then pass by to the network, pass by to the internet, then go to another place. So from the end-to-end, this chain, so we need to we need to design. We need design and control. So in this point, so we need to have a solution. To be honest, a solution is necessary. Because for example, it's cloud-based something, encryption on some like new protocol to protect the privacy of the users. This is from Huawei's vision.
And that's a similar trend that's happened in the past, where initial technology has come out, and then as it's matured, the security protocols have been built into the main protocols, and that's going to need to happen. And the other thing you mentioned is training. From a cybersecurity perspective, the weakest point is the humans in the chain, and the best return you can get on your investment is by training up that human factor. So next question for Mr. Prescott. From TAT's perspective, how is 5G technology going to transform the existing big data analytic practices in the telecom industry? And what new types of data can we expect the telecom companies to analyze?
So taking the first part of the question, how we expect it to transform the collection. So I want to start off by saying that there is data collection done today using the existing technology. So I don't want it I don't want it to seem as if data isn't being collected today using the existing 4G and on prior technologies. So data collection is done today. How we expect 5G to impact that? One of the ways we expect 5G to impact that is by accommodating or enabling a larger ecosystem of devices. So, whereas with 5G, there are a lot of 5G devices and equipment out there that are specifically geared towards provision of data back to big data systems. What we expect when 5G becomes available is that the operators will now have access to those ecosystems, the smart wearable devices and all that sort of stuff, which will then further enhance the data that's collected. So that's what we expect with the adoption of 5G technology, that the operators will be able to leverage the more available ecosystems in order to enhance the data collection activities. In terms of what data we expect to be collected, so whereas with the current systems that exist today, the contemporary systems, I guess the data that's collected is normally done at an aggregate level, right? So they look at groups of consumers in communities at certain hours and that sort of stuff. With 5G, with the adoption of 5G, the expectation would be for data to be collected at a more individual level, right? Going specific to the user. And then, supported by the AI, artificial intelligence analytics, that individualized data that has been collected could be better analyzed and trends could be detected, and then the operators can be more proactive in taking actions based upon the data being collected. So no longer waiting for customers having to call in to report problems, those sort of things. We expect the 5G ecosystem to enable more comprehensive data collection, and the AI analytical engines to be able to provide better proactive actions based upon the data being collected.
Right, thank you for that. And Andy, what's your views on new data?
Yeah, 5G, yeah, 5G, yeah, besides the consumer part, so actually the major scenarios is from the industry part, yeah. We call it like a B2B, business to business, right? So the new data, so I think that, yeah, most of the new data is from the IoT, from the vehicles and cars, I mean from the factories. So this is totally new before 5G, so we only have the consumer part, yeah. So I think this is a new thing and a new challenge for us. We need to think a little bit more to how to control, how to collect, control, and use it. Yeah, so this,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And finally, Nicholas, I mean, as a consumer of that data, I know you do a lot of data scientists and analytics. What sort of new data are you expecting or hoping?
So I think a couple things. With more adaptable 5G, a lot of the information, as Kelly mentioned, is already being collected. I think what 5G does is make things more accessible. But it also means that there's a lot more data that is being ingested or being utilized. One thing before even we could do any type of analytics is what type of infrastructure exists, how are we going to process this large amount of data in a quick turnaround time, how are we going to store that, and how are we going to query these things. So even before we do analytics, we need to at least figure out what we want to do the analytics on, how we want to do it. So those are a lot of things, I guess, and considerations to be made. But in terms of new information and new data, I guess wearables or more IoT devices, sensor-based things for individuals, and this also would raise something that you all mentioned in terms of cybersecurity. There would be a lot more personal identification information, so even policies around that from a TAT perspective. You know, so there's a lot of other things just before we reach into consumer analytics, but yeah.
Right. Okay, thanks for that. So before I move on to the next question, I just want to remind the audience that they are free to put their hands up and ask a question if there is a relevant question. We've got a hand up in the back, so we'll bring a mic across to you.
Good afternoon, and I'm switching my affiliation now to ham radio operator and VHF radio operator. The discussion so far, I'm going to be quick, has focused around maybe cell phones, but there's a whole bunch of data that's generated in other bands and frequencies. So I was hoping to hear from the representative from TAT, what kind of data is collected, and what are the opportunities for, say, REACT teams or other teams who use VHF and other types of radio communication to provide the kind of data that's needed on a community level. So that's one question. Secondly, you know, there's been a lot of positive spin on 5G and how it will enable individualized data to be more accessible and so on. We as individuals should have a little concern about that as far as I'm concerned, so I was hoping to hear, because when your individual data it's cleaned and it's sanitized, but it's not anonymized. And so our habits, our conversations, our everything, our locations and so on, are available for companies to target marketing. And that's something that came up in the first speaker. He said, if you notice, and what are we going to do with this data? We are going to generate targeted marketing. So when they want to target marketing, they want to know everything about you so they can know what to market to you. And if it would stop there, that would be good. But there's a fine line between targeted marketing and behavioral manipulation. And we've seen this for several years in different companies, Facebook and Analytica, I can't remember but there are so many examples of companies using all of this data, not just to make money, but to then sell the data to other people who can then use it to, you know, identify biases and use those biases. There are so many different points that have not yet been discussed here, and I know that it would take a year to discuss all of those concepts, but I really would like the panelists to zero in a little more on that, because there seems to be on the panel just a very positive thing, you know, yes, we'll collect more data and so on, but the people whose data you are collecting, what do they get out of it? So, I mean, there's more I can say, but I'll stop here. Thank you.
Right. Okay, thanks for that. So there's two questions, and the second question is extremely important question, which I did have on my list. So thank you for asking that question. Curly will put you on the hot spot, answer the first question on data from HAM and VHF, and then we'll jump straight into the data security and data privacy of all this data that we're capturing.
Yes, yeah. All right, so on the first point, in terms of the data that's collected in using, you know, the other bands, you know, very high frequency bands and so on and so forth, the mechanism by which we aim, or it is envisioned that data could be shared and utilized, is via the National Emergency Telecommunications Plan that has been developed in partnership with the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management. Assuming if the data that you were referring to speaks to data that could be used for disaster recovery efforts. So if that was the question, yeah, we do have that plan that would have gone through 2 rounds of consultation over the past 2 to 3 years, and is with the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management for finalization and approval. And we would obviously support, because, you know, we know that those networks, amateur radio networks and so on, they're sort of systems of last resort that can be independently powered, not rely on any telecom infrastructure, that sort of stuff. So yes, we would absolutely, for the most part, support the operation. You know, the Telecom Authority, we actively facilitate the training and certification of new amateur radio operators and so on. And they actually make up the vast majority of our licensees. Something like 40% of our licensees are amateur radio operators. So yes, we fully support their adoption, their use. And as I said, the division in terms of the sharing of the data collected by those operators has been sort of mapped out in our National Emergency Telecom Plan that was developed in collaboration with the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management. On the other matters that you spoke to about responsible handling of data collected. So I mean, obviously, normally those type of concerns are handled through legislation. In the case of Trinidad and Tobago, we would have drafted our Data Protection Act some time ago. And my understanding is that, you know, the act is being reviewed to ensure it sort of complies and becomes compliant with the, you know, global data protection, GDPR, best practices that have been adopted in Europe and so on. So I guess we can look forward to the updating or revision of our Data Protection Act, and once it has been brought up to standard, seeing that act passed, which should address a lot of the concerns that you raised, ensuring responsible use of data by digital service providers. Yeah.
And Andy, over to you. Data security and data privacy. Andy, right.
Question for me?
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, actually, regarding the data security, regarding this question, so yeah, first of all, we need to limit it. For example, yeah, every time, so we touch our data, so we have a purpose. Yeah, for example, this data is for marketing. That data is maybe for network planning. So every time we need to define, yeah, the purpose. I mean the user. I mean where to store this data. Yeah, because we need to make sure the data is in the safe places. Yeah. So then, after we use this data, so how to destroy the data? Yeah, to clear everything. So actually, I mean, different company has a different situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, from us, we will have a very strict standard to make sure every data, everything is on table. So it's very clear. So in that case, maybe it will reduce the risk of the data security. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and Nicholas, I'm going to hand the question over to you, but also what I'd like you to do is just briefly tell us about your work at Vitana, because I know it's a local company and you're doing some very leading edge, top secret stuff which you refuse to tell me about. But in terms of data, because you crunch data, so data security, privacy, and then how you use that data in terms of ethics, because the question was you can manipulate people and there's a lot of research that shows that. So tell us a bit about what you guys do, if you can, and then those questions of security, privacy, ethics.
Sure. So Vitana is a AI robotics and software engineering company based primarily in Trinidad. It's a US-based company with a Trinidad counterpart. What we actually do is a lot of work for bleeding edge companies and startups in Silicon Valley, from deep robotics, indoor drone localizations, and I guess end-to-end robotics, so from hardware to software to high-level processing, etc. It's really cool stuff. What I would say is we support 100% local engineers within Trinidad and Tobago, so everybody's from UE or from Trinidad, so that is just part of giving back. From a data processing perspective, so I guess me being there in Vitana as the COO, I originally came from telecom, so I was the CCO for Trinidad, Jamaica, Digicel, and then recently TSCT. What that means is I manage the consumer business, and to manage the consumer business, you need to provide good quality of service for all customers. That is almost always the first goal. Make sure that we have satisfied customers. To have satisfied customers, we need to understand the challenges or how we even provide products and services to them, and the challenges or the experience that they have. From a data protection perspective, all data is anonymized, so we would never know, or it would be very difficult for anybody to pinpoint somebody within a telecoms environment that this is X person. But what we do is within a particular region, we try to understand the network quality or the customer experience that we are having so that we can enhance or know where to invest from an investment perspective, how to enhance the network, etc. From a Vitana perspective, we provide AI and deep learning, machine learning, big data processing and services, but we also are able to recommend what type of policies take in place, etc., both leveraging my experience as well as the experience of the individuals within Vitana. Yeah.
Right, thank you for that. So that brings us to the end of the session. I've got some red lights flashing here telling us that the time is up. I know half an hour or even an hour is not sufficient to do, to cover all the topics and to do justice to these topics.
Yeah.
So we unfortunately do need to end here, but if you got any other questions, the panelists are going to be around, so you can stop them, hijack them on the way, and ask them more questions, as I will be doing. So thank you for that, and I'd like to also thank the panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Quite a bit of information there. Extremely interesting. I think what piqued the interest of many were the factors as it related to data security and privacy. And I think that will always be there surrounding those very important topics like telecommunications. So at this